Yo! Video games.
What up, dudes? Matt here from YoVideogames, and E3 2018 has finally come to an end. But before I get into the nitty-gritty details of all the hands-on and eyes-on stuff that I've done and checked out over the past few days, I figured I'd go back and complete the rating of the conferences that I never got to finish because I was away from basically my home for the last 4 or 5 days. So anyways, let's just kick it off with Sony and rate their press conference, which was kind of not as bad as I was fearing it would be, and probably not as good as what people were probably hoping for in a sort of return to form from the years past, where, like, you know, you got that year with Shenmue 3, Last Guardian, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, and that's probably never coming back. So all that being said, this was weird. Sony was basically two minds of a conference, or like first half horrible, second half pretty good. So let's just dive into it and kind of like just explain, and then that should give my rating some meaning and context. You know, we started off with Last of Us 2, a long look at that. Nothing of my opinion on that game or series has changed, other than to say that I don't think starting the conference with like a 5 to 6 minute solo of a guy sitting, you know, by himself just playing a banjo, like, I get kind of what they were going for there, but probably not the most, you know, exciting way to start off a press conference. Even if the instrument playing was good, it was, you know, the guy playing the banjo was very accomplished, but it was one of those things where it's like, this could have been played to the gameplay while someone's doing something slowly or walking around the environment, not just no gameplay, no footage, no nothing. Just, hey, this guy sitting in a corner on a chair playing a banjo. Isn't that exciting? And then horribly after that, they had apparently put everyone into this mock-up church and showed the footage of Last of Us 2, and then they had everyone get up and leave and go to a separate building for the rest of the press conference. And while that was happening, they had to cut back like ESPN or you know, election night style to an outdoor desktop setup and just have people talk about random shit while they shuffled people from one building to another. This was probably the dumbest, poorest idea for a press conference that was live streamed ever. If all of this was like going on and they pre-recorded it and then they released it to the internet, like, you know, an hour after it actually happened, and you could cut out that whole transition period, would have been a lot better, because that whole time they were shoving people out, there was way too much talking. Like, there was a little bit of like gameplay stuff or announcements that went on in this little intermission, you know, halftime report, which was dumb because it was after one game. Anyway, so after that, they get into the new building, and they spend another like 5 minutes watching a guy play, you know, an ancient Japanese wood instrument with no gameplay, no footage. And it's like, why is this happening? Like, this sort of set a precedent, like, oh my god, is this going to be the press conference? We're just going to see the big four games. There's going to be someone playing an instrument solo with no footage or anything, you know, for 5-6 minutes before they even show anything. And that was really sinking the hype levels really low. And again, the guy who was playing the instrument was, you know, very accomplished. Apparently he's like a world-renowned player. And I really don't understand why they didn't just show the game behind him, no sound, just listening to him live play and give you a live performance to the game itself before all the crazy stuff in the game. Now, as for the game Ghost of Tsushima, this was my most intrigued title. I was really curious to see how they pulled off, and it looked fucking beautiful. It didn't even look half bad to play either, so I'm actually kind of excited about Ghost of Tsushima. So I was intrigued. I don't know if it'll be super good, or if I'll be interested to play everything the whole way through the game, but it's got enough going for it that it doesn't look like it controls horribly. It doesn't look like it's frustrating to play. It looks very beautiful, yes, but it also looks like, hopefully, a samurai style Red Dead Redemption. That's what I hope for. And so after that, the first half of the conference out of the way, that's when they start hitting the big guns. They start doing the big reveals. They showed Remedy's new game called Control. They showed Resident Evil 2 remake finally. They had some other stuff, like a big Pirates trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3, which is about the only time I'm going to have half an interest in watching a trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3. And then they showed a big, long, nothing, I guess, of Death Stranding. I'm sure there was actually some in-game footage gameplay in what we were seeing in Death Stranding. At least that's what it felt like to me, but I still have no idea exactly what I do in the game besides deliver mail. Is this just a even more futuristic sci-fi version of Kevin Costner's The Postman? I don't. I'm not seeing anything that's intriguing me on a gameplay level from Death Stranding. Yes, it's mysterious, and yes, the graphics are nice, and it's Kojima. You have to like it. I don't, but I don't know enough about the game yet. I do not see what the gameplay hook to rope me in is yet from Death Stranding. It's still just a whole lot of Kojima smoke and mirrors at the moment. And then, and after that, we got more stuff, announcements, and like third-party wides, and then we ended with a big, long Spider-Man trailer. And Spider-Man looks fun. I kind of like the whole vibe of all these crazy 90s villains fighting Spider-Man, although the setting, it's just sold that meme even harder. Like, it's Arkham Spider-Man, and the fact that he was on like a prison island, it was just like, oh boy, they're really going for that feeling now. So, but it looks hot. It looks like it's going to be fun to play. I've told people I knew someone who worked on the title. He told me they nailed the swing mechanics first and foremost, and it's probably going to be really good. I did not play it at the show. It's a title that's coming out so soon. It's hard for me to really want to go, okay, I need to wait in line for a long time to try to play this game, which will be out very shortly, and I can just sit at home and stream it uninterrupted for you guys. So didn't play it, looked good. I'm actually fairly convinced that it's going to be good. And then they did this sort of extra trailer, they cut back to the intermission people and said, hey, that was the press conference. And then they show a From Software VR game completely unannounced. So I'm actually a little intrigued by this because it's not their usual super dark, dour, gritty, just the most horrific thing ever, kind of Dark Souls, Bloodborne look. It's actually something a little more pleasant, even though you are a ghost. I'm intrigued by it. I'm going to, probably try it on stream with the VR headset. So that was neat, but not mind-blowing. But it was still kind of cool. Overall, I think I would give Sony's press conference a 7, based on the fact that the second half had a lot of good announcements, which was good. The first half, even if you liked the games they were showing, I think it was horrible how they handled it. You start off with a guy in a corner playing a banjo with nothing else, which is great if you're doing a concert. This is not a concert. And then the whole thing where they had to literally go to an intermission style thing while they move people from building to building. Horrible idea. And then when they come back, it's just another guy doing a solo performance on an instrument, which is, again, great for a conference, but not when you've only shown one game at a big E3 press event. So, again, if it wasn't for that second half, with Resident Evil 2 Remake, Control, Neo, Kingdom Hearts, whatever, this would have been another disastrous Sony press conference. So it's more like Crisis Averted, but this was not a slam dunk. Even if I'm rating these conferences more by how they were handled, how they were presented, less by how much I personally care about the games, because there were actually plenty of titles in that showcase that I was very interested in playing, but I'm not going by that. I'm just rating it by, what did they show? How did they present it? Was it well done? Was it executed well? So yeah, I'm giving this a 7 from Sony. And I really was thinking 4 before. If it was literally just the big 4 games with some annoying interruption or some long drawn out instrument being played before the footage, this would have definitely been a low point conference for me. But it's not. It got saved. A lot of good announcements in the second half. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I'll have plenty more to talk about. And please, guys, let me know what you would like to hear about from me at E3, because I would be more than happy, to make videos on any of the stuff there. So please let me know in the comments below, and I hope to see you on the channel. Later, dudes.